Crossing D to A.
After we did about a week of that, the next piece shows how they started using the fingers on their left hand. And so they learned good technique for the hand shape, as well as some tricks about how to make the best sound. And so you'll hear a couple of songs that just introduce using our fingers. The next two pieces will both do that.
New note G. G and D jumps.
In the next piece, you'll see them starting to use more notes, and they're getting to use their fingers a little bit faster as well. And they, at this point in time in the school year, they were still only doing pizzicato, which is the technique you see in front of you when they're plucking. That's called pizzicato. And so they're still only using this skill. That way we can really focus on having excellent hand shape and good intonation and putting our fingers where they belong on all of the songs all of the time. So it's trying to reinforce that. That's why you just see them plucking right now.
Down and up.
After this, we started putting the notes in different order and jumping around and skipping notes, which calls for more finger dexterity to not just do the very next note that your fingers want to play anyway. So that's and the songs start getting longer at this point as well.
Jolly Fellows.
At this point in the year, they knew 5 notes. They knew their D string, E, F sharp, G, and their open A string. What we started doing then was adding more notes on the A string, which is higher. And so they're having to learn to read more things, so recognize the notes in front of them, as well as being able to play on different strings and mixing up notes and things like that. So we learned all the A string notes in the same fashion that we just showed you with learning it out, sort of messing around with it a little bit, and then putting it into a song. So we did that with the A string notes, and then we started putting them all together into songs and learning what's called a scale. If you're not a music person, scales are really not terribly interesting because the notes just go in order up and down, but it shows that they know a ton of notes by this point, so that's what you're going to see in this next one.
Playing up and down the D scale.
posture. So the way they sit, how they hold their instruments, everything about the way they approach their instrument is something that we've been focusing on pretty much since they learned how to take their instruments out of their cases without breaking them. So this is something where all of the things that you're seeing that they just sort of do are things that we've rehearsed and they've learned and we've studied them. This next little set of songs, we learned new finger patterns, so new ways to hold, or new ways to put our fingers down on the strings. And they're these, classic stories of, tragedy. Because Mary had a little lamb, and she was really excited, had this pet, took care of it, and everything was great. It was a very happy song. Very good. Tragic tale of how she was irresponsible, lost the pet, and was, devastated as, well, she should have been for losing this adorable little animal. And so we learned about F naturals and the different sounds that come with minor key signatures. So that's what you're going to hear next. Right? And just to show you how skilled they are, now we're going to go back to using F sharps in a song about delicious pastries that you'll probably recognize. But just like Mary, the baker was irresponsible. He left these pastries out. They got cold, didn't taste good. Real story of heartbreak. And so you'll hear them going back to the F naturals, the minor sounds, and using those different finger patterns.